So I'm trying something a little bit different today. I'm going to try doing a good old-fashioned Bob Ross style video. I'm going to try doing a bit of a live commentary whilst I'm painting here, which is going to be interesting. Let's see how long I can rant away for whilst I'm trying to paint. I'm actually trying a new mixing medium today as well. I picked up some of this odorless, it's like an odorless turpentine to thin my paint and just not stink out the studio. Also, it can't be great for you to regularly be breathing in turpentine or mineral spirits or whatever it is that you use. It is quite a bit more expensive, this artist grade turpentine. Probably about double the price what I would pay for the gum turpentine, which is what I was using before. But we'll see how it goes. If the quality of painting with it's the same, it's probably worth the extra expense. And I'm painting sunflower today, as you are going to find out very shortly. It's basically a commission piece that someone reached out to me to paint for them in response to the last little sort of tiny painting that I did, which was the goldfish. And it's another one of those little frame canvases, which you probably saw at the start of the video. Painted sunflowers a couple times. They're really fun to paint. They're really interesting leaves. I'm kind of just making it up as I go. But yeah, it should be a fun little painting. I think what I'm going to do with this live commentary, just to sort of save you watching too much of it in real time, is I'll time-lapse some sections and then I'll slow some sections down, which I want to talk over. And we'll sort of just do it that way. But right now I'm just sort of sketching in where I want everything, starting to lay down a bit of a framework for my sunflower leaves and where I want everything to go. I think I'm essentially just going to have a pretty basic stalk running down, maybe a couple of green leaves coming off the stalk. The person who I'm doing the commission for essentially told me to do whatever I wanted. They just wanted a sunflower to be somewhere in the middle. And I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm going to go for a yellow background of some sort, as opposed to a blue background, which I've done a lot, or a grey background, which I did in the last painting. Yeah, we'll see how yellow looks, but we can always change that if it doesn't turn out how I'm picturing it. So yeah, at the moment I'm just keeping things really loose. I'm using a lot of this odorless turpentine stuff. Just kind of, yeah, just basically sketching in. Which for paintings like this, I like to just try and sketch in with the brush as opposed to overcomplicating it and sketching in with pencil. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this style of commentary as opposed to what I normally do, which is a bit of a mishmash between on-camera commentary and recorded commentary. Planning on getting a new mic hopefully next week, and I'm also going to try and get some LED lights for the studio. Just try to balance out some of the shadows that I get in here. So if anyone has any recommendations on lighting that I could use for my studio, that would be greatly appreciated. So I'm probably going to paint the background next whilst I have all of these sunflower leaves super loose, because there's a lot of areas in between these leaves that are going to be kind of annoying to paint. Probably should have just fleshed out the background first, to be honest, but I got a little bit carried away with the actual sunflower itself, but it's not too bad. And then I'll also start adding a couple of leaves that are, or petals, I keep saying leaves I think, but petals that are a little bit jagged in shape and a little bit weathered, just so it doesn't end up looking literally like a cartoon sun of some sort. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this at the moment, so I might just get stuck on adding some background in. I'm just going to use this really wide flat bristle brush for my background just to get a lot of coverage. Again, I'm going to keep this pretty watery, or use just quite a lot of the mixing medium just to keep things nice and loose. And I think I'm going to go for a sort of textured background like I did on the goldfish painting. I think that turned out really cool. But for now, I'm just going to block in. This is what I was saying before about having to cut in amongst all of these petals, but that's alright. Background is a little bit counterintuitive to my regular backgrounds. I tend to like my backgrounds and it's an opposite color to whatever my main subject matter is, and try and get some nice contrast going and make some colors pop. But I thought I'd mix it up with this one and see how we go, taking the color from the main subject and kind of muting it right down into this pastel yellow color, and yeah, let's just see what happens really. at this stage in the painting, I'm pretty happy with how things are coming along. Starting to really flesh out some of these petals and let the sort of shapes begin to take form. Again, applying the paint nice and thick, and at the moment, don't mind that truck. At the moment, I'm essentially just trying to flesh out my highlights and shadow tones. Obviously doing the shadows at the moment, and just distinguish the way that each petal sort of lies on top of each other. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. Obviously just mainly been working on this left side at the moment, and then I'll make my way around to the far right side. Alright, so I'm back with a fresh coffee, and I am now starting to add some texture to the background with my palette knife. You would have seen me do that in the last video, and this is pretty straightforward. I'm literally just scraping up a decent amount of paint off my palette. I'm trying to mix in a little bit of yellow here and there, like the tiniest amount, just to add a little bit more graduation in sort of the colors of the background. But I'm kind of enjoying this like really muted back and really pastel-y yellow as the background. I was gonna go really out there sort of color and kind of give a nice little pop art effect, but instead of taking the risk, since it's not painting for myself or a painting that I'm going to sell, it's a painting for someone and I sort of know what they like already. I thought I would sort of play it a little bit safer and just go with something that I know that's definitely going to work. But I really like painting with the palette knife, especially on things like backgrounds. Alright, so I'm getting pretty close to finishing up this little piece here. Just sort of like running around the canvas and chucking on some last sort of like highlights and shadows where I see fit. But yeah, I'm just going to sort of boost up some of the colours through here, maybe get some sort of thicker strokes happening, a little bit more yellow in there, some highlights and shadows on the leaves, sign her up and she'll be done. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below, especially if you enjoyed this format of video where I'm sort of just like live combing it, I guess, and showing a little bit more sort of work at actual speed as opposed to time lapse. But yeah, for now that's it, and I'll catch you in the next video.